I just made it up a few days ago when I was coaching my group.
Welcome to the Align Life podcast by yours truly, Dr. Tiffany. How about we get out that magnifying glass and look at every part of your life? The awesome, the suck, and everything in between. There's so much beauty in you. Stop being afraid of what isn't good enough and let's double down on what is together. It's about your truth and your life. Aligned.
To bust through what you want to make it possible. Hey guys. Dr. Tiffany back with Dr. Tiffany. It's me. We're just chatting today. And I think it will be a topic that you will love with a bit of a twist, of course. A little bit of a flair. It's a little bit like me, eh? Hey, that's Canadian. Okay, anyway, we're going to talk about goals. We're talking about goal setting, but in a much different way. Because now it's the end of January. Well, beginning of February. The majority of New Year's resolutions are busted. They're done. People have already given up, which is so beyond what I can process. First tip, every day is a new day to restart. So if you fall off track, decide that you're going to get back on track tomorrow or Monday or the next month. This plan for the year, but fail after 3 weeks is totally ludicrous to me. It does not make any sense. So we're going to talk about goals, and in a different way. We're going to look at what I see has worked for strategy. How do you create them? And then, oh my gosh, how do you accomplish them? What are the parts that need to be included with every goal? Why are we not getting there? And how to move forward, no matter when we fall off track. Okay, so we're going to talk about what is a goal and what is a vision and how do you actually create it? How do you achieve it? How do you make it come true? How do you experience it? Because it is all about tying together an achievement. So something that you want to accomplish, but the biggest piece of this, you guys, is connecting it to the feeling that you want to experience. So what happens is the type A drivers, the alphas, I have a lot of my task list. I'm going to accomplish all those. We put goals together in tasks, like all these things that we got to do. Do is the key word. The feelers of the group put together a list of all these things they want to feel. Keyword, feel. The achievers do. They actually get shit done. The feelers might feel what they wanted to feel, but the achievers don't have the feeling tied to achieving it. And the feelers do not know what it feels like to actually achieve it. We need both. So when we get into how do we actually do this, I'm going to be talking about what it takes to create the strategy and get in the vision of it and really break through what I call the possibility barrier to then feel how you want to feel for the year or for the month or for the day. Because goals are meant to be lived. They're meant to be felt. They're meant to be experienced. The purpose of a goal is to not just check one more box out. That's exhausting. That's when burnout happens. All right, these are the 100 things that I need to get done this month. Oh, so by the end of the month, did you reflect on what you accomplished and how it felt? Because that's where growth happens. It's not in just achieving the task, guys. And it's not just in feeling joy, because that is not necessarily quantifiable either, because we get used to normal. How can we be high achievers that feel the impact that created, the freedom that created, the purpose that gave you every single day? Because now when you wake up, you feel like you have a path. When you look back at the day, you know that you made a difference. That, my friends, is goal setting. So let's break it down a little bit. Are they important to write down? Hypothetical, real TIFF talking, yes. You are 42% more likely to achieve a goal when it's written down. There are people that teach write it down 3 times a day, 10 times a day, whatever it is. Get it on paper and get it up. Get it on your board. If you do awesome with planners, then get it in your planner. I don't do awesome with planners. And I imagine there are a lot of people like me. We get caught up in the shiny ball. Ooh, we got to try this new pen with this new journal. Oh my God, it's cute. But I never use it that way. I don't follow the strategy that they say to hit your goals in the pretty journal with the awesome pen. Now, don't get me wrong. I have a ton of colored pens here and I love them. I also have a desk full of a lot of papers. Whatever that is for you, figure out your system. It does not need to be hard. Drama is in the planning of anything. It's in the strategy. It's in the layout process, because that's where the emotional comes into, like, oh my gosh, I started this again. Once again, I didn't finish it. Once again, I got distracted. Once again, I followed the other shiny ball. And now I got 15 balls and squirrels all over the place. And the surefire way to not achieve anything is to not be focused. Focus is what helps you achieve what you want and achieve the feeling that you want to feel when that occurs and when you experience it. And that becomes your experience and your memories. And that is patterned into your brain. So now you believe you can do hard things. Possibility barrier. What do you think I mean by this? I just made it up a few days ago when I was coaching my group. And what it means is how to think and dream and vision far enough ahead so that you bust through what you think logically is possible. So it's to look far enough ahead, to plan, to set goals, to bust through what you logically think is possible. It's that quote of, if you shoot for the moon, you land among the stars. So if you shoot for, I call it a big ass goal. If you have your one big ass goal for the year or 3, when you get your mindset around that and you create a plan as basic as it needs to be, whatever, it does not need to be in depth, and you implement and execute and take freaking action, you will blow through your possibility barrier. Because that possibility barrier is based on old patterns. It's old memories, old goals, all this old subconscious, unconscious patterns that when you set New Year's resolutions, that's why they don't work. I mean, 15 to 20% of people say they will not achieve their New Year's resolutions because they don't have willpower. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have got to be kidding me. They go into the year expecting they will not achieve it because they know they don't have willpower. Let's just blow through this. In order to have more willpower in setting the New Year's resolutions that you created, which by the way are likely the same as the year before, with the exception of 1 or 2 maybe bigger things like, ooh, it would be nice if I lost 50 pounds. But every year you say, got to lose 20 pounds, I'm going to exercise every day, going to start meal planning on Sunday, whatever, until you change your mindset, until you shift your perspective and actually take action, doing something different and getting rid of something that's not working, your willpower will not increase. Because willpower is strongly rooted in the mindset and the feeling of what you want when you achieve the goal. Man, I think this is awesome. I get super excited about this. When we look to create a new habit or do something different than we've always done. We look at what we're going to add into our life. You want to exercise every day. All right, it's an easy add. I need to add 30 minutes into my day, and probably longer if you think of changing. If you think of, I don't know where I put my sports bra. Honey, did you wash my sports bras? My socks? Oh my gosh, it's going to take me 15 minutes. My sports bra's dirty. What do I do now? Oh, not going to work out. Guess things just aren't lining up right. Or how about the, I have somewhere to be in 40 minutes. So I cannot work out for 30 minutes because I'm going to be sweaty. Oh, not going to do it today. Willpower, when we start something new, is the strongest in the morning. When it's the strongest in the morning and we're implementing something new, we want to do the new thing in the morning. So when we charge our cell phone at night, and it's an old cell phone. Hey, I just converted from a Samsung to an iPhone. And I would charge that puppy at night and it would look like it's full, but in 2 hours, it was done. In the first 2 hours of that phone's life, you need to do the most important parts of your day. You need to do the most important things. So if you have goals, if you have those big things, the hardest stuff needs to be first in the day. That's when, from an energy standpoint, from a body standpoint, from a feeling standpoint, that's when you're the most clear. That's when you have the most oomph. So do those things, exercise in the morning. And I'm not saying that's because of science. I'm just saying that's because of, from a mindset standpoint, from a threshold standpoint, that's when you can accomplish more and you can accomplish hard things. Now, gradually your threshold builds and your resilience builds and your confidence in yourself builds. You start to believe that you're going to follow through. You start to have evidence that this is working. It starts to be more of a rhythm. And once things become a rhythm for a long period of time, they become habits. And when they're habits, that is ingrained into your subconscious, unconscious brain. And that becomes what you know. That may take, so many people say, oh, it takes 21 days to create a habit. I think it ranges from 21 to 166 or 67. Who wrote that book? I don't remember who wrote that book. We'll find that for you. But that's based on the range of your ability to have willpower, to create new habits, to be committed, to be disciplined, to follow through. Because the decision of doing it that morning, when your willpower is the highest, your cell phone is charged, the decision to do it isn't an emotional decision. So when your willpower tank is high, when your cell phone is charged in the morning, it is not about do you feel like doing this today? Should we do this today? It is not, absolutely not about that. It's about not having the emotion be able to distract you from your goal. If you were to ask yourself, what is the one thing you would do, you would be, that if you achieved that would be the fast track to all of your goals? That is what you build your year around. Maybe it's you need to improve in leadership. Maybe it's learning about financial investing. Maybe it's finding daycare or a nanny for your kids so that you can work on what lights you up. Maybe it's your marriage. Maybe it's starting that business, hiring that person. Maybe it's finding hobbies that you absolutely love again. Maybe it's changing your circle of influence, changing the room that you're living in, you're being in, you're breathing in, you're talking in, you're writing in. What is the one thing that if you achieved it would be the fast track to all your goals? That's it. So all these other things will come when you decide to achieve that one thing. Now, the tactics, the strategy of goal setting, this is my recommendation to you. The possibility barrier needs to be broken so that you know that something else and greater and more powerful and more impactful can happen. When you start to think 3 steps ahead of where you're at right now, you start to act differently. And when you start to act differently, we start to achieve. And when we tie achievement to the feeling that we want to give or be when that happens, that is accomplishment. That is making a difference. That is being closer to your calling. So if you were to spend some time with your fluffy journal and your fun pen, or if you're like me, your printer paper, or those yellow notebooks at Office Max, just start writing down what you want to accomplish in 2021. Anything. It might feel like a task list. The first 10 to 12 things might be all the stuff that you normally write about. After that, you start getting into, it would be nice if, like, I think that would be kind of awesome. Oh, that was a dream I had 10 years ago, but I pretty much just like, that's not going to happen. And so your next 10, 20, maybe, oh, this would be awesome. I've thought about this before. Now, just remember, the drama comes in the planning and the strategy. The drama comes in when you start thinking about how this is going to work. As soon as that thought comes in, you shut down. Put your pen down, close your book, and walk away. And you might come back in 15 minutes after going for a walk. You might come back in an hour. You might come back in a day or two. Whatever it is, it's okay. There are no rules. There is no, like, this is how you need to do it. Okay. It is a set of ideas for you to try. And if it works, awesome. And if it doesn't, do something different. Pivot one little thing. So as you're writing and you get to 25, you get to 40 or 50, if you've never done this exercise before, you might get to 15 and be out of ideas. But what I want you to do is keep this up. I want you to keep it on your wall. Seriously, mine is taped on my wall right now. There's nothing fancy. Because I spent years in the drama of, how should I do it? How do I make it pretty? Oh, I don't have a picture frame for that. I can't put that up. I have them taped on my wall or tacked on my wall. I see it every day. I read it every time I walk by it. So if you get to 15 and you get stuck, it's okay. Get that on your wall. As soon as you have an idea, or as soon as you see something in a magazine, or you were running errands, or you had a conversation with your bestie, some ideas start floating, right? They start coming to the surface because now your mindset has broken through the possibility barrier of what could actually happen in your life. Once we break through the possibility barrier, bubbles start coming to the surface. When bubbles start coming to the surface, you got to write it down. We are 42% more likely to achieve what we write down. So get that on your piece of paper. If you get to 50, if you get to 75, the last chunk is big stuff. The last chunk are the experiences, are the moments, are the big gifts. What you're called to do is at the end. It's after you get the logical things done. You get the tasks in. You get the, wow, that would be cool. And then you get the, is this even possible? Yes, it is. I'm going to put this down on my sheet of paper. And then you get the, whoa, oh my gosh, where did that come from? That, when you can break the possibility barrier of who you can be in your life, you will inevitably think differently. You will take action differently because you are not in the old mindset anymore. You have busted through. No matter if you have ever done this before or you have done goal setting every single year, if you've been successful with it, if you feel like you failed miserably, this process will change your perspective on what you can be. Because goal setting is not what you do, you guys. Goal setting is, who can I become? How can I take this action and become something greater than I am right now? How can I become that human that I know I'm called to be? I know I was put here to do this, to be this, to have this. You've broken through the possibility barrier. Now you get to expand. You get to see what else is out there. And that's why I call it a possibility barrier. It doesn't mean it has to be. You may write down your 75 goals today, and in 3 months, it may not be the same thing. You might do it again, and you might have 15 new ones that come from it because you just broke through that barrier of logic thought on possibility. Possibility has an expansive energy, and you get to let go of the old thinking, the old patterns, the old beliefs that kept you in average, in mediocre, or maybe even not. So am I saying to throw away the vision boards? No, but creating the vision board without action will not break through that barrier, and it won't get you closer to your calling. You need the vision and the action and the feeling, and it's not hard. What if you would believe that it wasn't hard? Like, what could you be? So to recap, every goal needs an achievement component, a feeling component. Think about willpower. When you're adding something to your day, you got to take something away and do it in the morning when your tank is full. What are those possibility barriers? What is in your way? Start to create your list of 10, 20, 50, 70. And if you get it there, come down to your next 10. Intuitively, what are the 10 things on this list that I want to accomplish in 2021, that I want to be in 2021, that I want to feel in 2021? And if you can get it down to 3, 5, 7 things, that's what you start working on. The drama is in the how. We get all bent out of shape when we don't know how to create the plan. We don't know how to get in our schedule. We don't know how to actually do it. But if we realize that the mindset is more important than the how, we would start to think differently. We would start to think of this possibility barrier as the only key to bust through so that we can be and accomplish what we intended to. This can be for the whole year. You can do this for the quarter. You can do this for the month, for the week, for the day. If you fall off track, you just get right back up. And I'm going to leave you with this question again. What is the one thing that if you achieved it would be the fast track to all of your goals? Because that's where the key is. Let me know your questions, your thoughts. And I so love community. I love when people say, oh my gosh, this is what I learned from this podcast. Or maybe in 3 months down the road, you've been doing this for 90 days. And you say, hey, look at what I've done. Because it's not about doing it for everyone else around you. It's about being it, living it, and proving to yourself by your action, by your discipline, by your commitment that you can do it. It's putting a period on the end of a sentence instead of a comma run-on sentence. Live in that space. Know that what you set out to do, you will accomplish. If it feels like you're going to have and create more freedom for yourself, more impact in your family, in your community, in the world, you're going to have a greater purpose as to why you're doing what you're doing. Then that is what you do. Put the plan into action. That's where the magic happens. Love you guys. I can't wait to hear everything. The good, the suck, the in-between, because it's all part of the journey. It's all part of documenting life. And when we start to document life, we start to experience it from a different lens. And we start to get out of our own work in our life and in our business. And we start to see things differently. I love you.
Thank you for listening and following the Aligned Life podcast with Dr. Tiffany. If you love this and can think of anyone who needs to hear about it, would you mind sharing with them? Find me online at drtiffanyjohnson.com, where you can find out more about my memberships, courses, mentoring, and any upcoming events. To learn more about chiropractic for you and your family, go to htchiro.com and follow our social pages. I can't wait to connect with you soon, and until then, be you, be aligned.